Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Alex Harshman, and coming at you with another video on how to get started in wholesaling, whether you're virtually or locally. So there's a couple ways you can do this, and I hope this video provides value to you, and if it does, please make sure you like, subscribe, and turn that notification bell on. That way you get access to my new videos as I produce them. I'm producing a lot of free content, and it's stuff that these big dogs are doing that I'm learning from directly, actually from one of them as well, and I'm sharing all of it, being transparent with you. So how to get started in real estate, or in wholesaling specifically. How I got started, I can't tell you the best way, but I can tell you how I got started, and I think it's the best way. It's just to take action, right? And I know that's probably not the answer a lot of you want to hear, but and I'll show you what that means as far as options, right? So for me, I started doing direct mail, and I did a couple campaigns. I had a small budget, and I mean, I got a couple phone calls, but I didn't have a system in place, and I didn't really know what I was doing. But it got me hands-on experience on, what happens when I send out mailers, the response rate, things like that. So I probably spent a good $500, $600 on mailers, and nothing really came of it. I got a couple deals, but actually, maybe I just didn't have the best offer compared to my competitors, or I just didn't know how to close the deal at the time. But I got that hands-on experience, which is very, very valuable, because now you kind of get the pattern of what the sellers sound like, and you also get kind of the feel for how direct mail works. So I was like, all right, I pulled a list from ListSource. I sent the mailers out from yellowletters.com, and this is what happened when I sent them out. This is how much it cost. This is what I know for next time. I need to be able to respond to these folks. And I thought I had to answer every phone call, so when I missed them, I never called them back. It's a dumb mistake. I know a lot of people say to answer them live. That's the best way to do it. I do agree, and to some extent, I heard the story about Sean Terry and his mentor, how his mentor just spent $100,000 on mailers and answered all the phone calls himself. He didn't have a VA or nothing. And the way he was able to do that is he would let them go to voicemail, and he would only take the motivated sellers because they left a voicemail, and he would give them a call back. And I kind of took that same philosophy. Even now, I won't answer the phone, more so when I'm with family and stuff. But if I don't have the time or the patience right there, I just let it go to voicemail. If they don't leave a voicemail, I'll call them right back. If they do leave a voicemail, usually it's because they want to be taken off a list or something, and I'm like really glad I didn't answer that phone call. Wasted 5 minutes and energy in my life. But and then the other ones, they'll leave and say, hey, I am interested in selling. And that's exactly how I got my first deal. I had a $50 a month website from Investor Carrot, which I strongly recommend if anybody has a budget for $50 a month to get two things, $100 a month: Deal Machine and Investor Carrot website. So what the Investor Carrot website is it's a pre-built website for wholesalers. You can get this for realtors as well, but for wholesalers, you can get a pre-built website. You just need your company name, or even your name, like Alex Buys Houses, and you put it up there, and it has this nice, neat, professional looking page that converts leads. They come to your page, they fill out the information. Hey, I want to sell my property at X. Here's what's wrong with it. They go into real detail, and they even have a basic form to increase conversions. So I had this thing setting up and on the website for almost a couple, like maybe 6 to 8 months before I was getting some leads, because I did like an SEO campaign that was like $100. But over time, just because people were looking at it and searching for We Buy Houses in my area, it became more and more relevant. And I guess through SEO, the website, because I was just paying $50 a month, it just held some relevance and people were coming to it. So my lead came in through my website and left a message for me because I didn't answer it. And he said, hey, I still have the voicemail, by the way. And maybe I'll share that in the end of this video so you guys can see what a 65K deal seller sounds like. He didn't even sound like a seller that was motivated. And he was an investor, a real estate investor. And I made 65K from it. So I think I made most money from unmotivated sellers, right? It's crazy. But yeah, I just you know, a $50 website brought in $65,000, and that's one way to get started, right? It might not happen overnight. It could, but make sure you take advantage of the lead sources and the marketing that you're doing to capture the most deals and the most opportunity. So that's the Investor Care website. I said Deal Machine was the other one I think that's really good to get started. Why? Because you can leverage your time instead of money to find these very targeted deals. So when you do a direct mail campaign, a text blast, ringless voicemail, what happens is you're doing a shotgun approach, which means you're just shooting out a bunch of messages, and you're hoping to pull out one deal from it, 2 deals out of the 1,000 people you're hitting, right? Now with a targeted, detailed approach, you're hitting a very targeted audience. You're hitting a very targeted person because the property you're driving for dollars is distressed. They have some kind of motivation, or at least you hope they do, because they have a property that is falling apart. So either the person died, or they inherited it. They don't really have the money to fix it up, or they just moved out of the area and they don't want to deal with it anymore, so they never do the upkeep on it. So very rarely you have somebody who's like, oh yeah, I got this property for $5,000 and I'm not selling it for less than $100,000, even though the property's falling apart and the land's not even worth $5,000. So, but that's very rare. Now that's why Deal Machine is so powerful, because you can drive for dollars, find these specific properties, and you can take it down in an instant. It'll tell you the owner, it'll tell you the address, it'll tell you the mailing address, and you can click mail to owner right from the phone, or you can skip trace them and call them immediately. And that's very powerful, especially when you're starting out, because man, you can get a deal like that. And I'm a big fan of the overnight deals. That's why I do Facebook ads, text blasting. I don't do a lot of direct mail right now, maybe in the future, but I just like the instant deals. I like the instant, maybe it's the instant gratification generation, I don't know, but I like it. So it's worked for me. Some people like to wait on their deals and build that pipeline over time, whatever, you know what I mean? So I like the Deal Machine for that specific reason. It's very quick. It can be quick, and if you use my promo code HARSH while you're on Deal Machine, you get 15 of those properties for free, which means you can mail to 15 properties for free, or you can skip trace 15 properties for free. And it's only $50 a month for their basic plan, and you can have 2 deal finders, which means you can hire somebody else or just give them access to the app. Like, you can send them an invitation, they join your team. They can't send out any mailers on your behalf. You have to approve them. I think you can change the settings, but so you don't have to worry about them spending your marketing dollars. They just add properties for you. You tell them, hey, pay you anywhere from $250 to $500 per deal that we close. And, all you have to do is take 2 minutes out of your day, not even. So just ask them, say, hey, how long does it take to write down an address and take a picture of the front of the house? Oh, that takes about 10 seconds. Okay, well, let's just say it takes a minute. Let's say that 1 minute that you spent on that house brings back a lead that we close on, and you get paid $500 for. That's $100 or $500 per minute. And they're like, wow, they can see the value in that. So you have them go out and look at properties for you. And you can leverage other people. You don't even have to do anything when you first start out. You can just have so I had a mailman, a mail lady. I'm actually good friends with them. And they had brought me my second lead, and it was a $7,500 deal. And she delivers mail on foot, and it was just on her way that she would take these addresses down. I would look up the photos myself on Instant Street View, and one of them, the mailers came back, and the lady was interested in selling. So I ended up paying them $500 on a property, and it was my friend, and so it was really cool to do that, to be able to pay them $500 for them spending 2 minutes of their time. And I thought that was very powerful and uplifting, especially because I knew them. But, just to see that these things work, right? And that's why I'm explaining it to you. So there's a lot of options when you're getting started. You can obviously do direct mail like I did, and just kind of see the workings of it and how the response rate is. But for me, I wouldn't recommend it because I didn't get anything from it, but I know people who do, and I know people who really do well with it. Just like cold calling, I think cold calling is a great way to get started, but I would not. I got started cold calling too, I guess. So I met up with some real estate investors who I think I shared in my other video. They gave me 600 dead leads, and I cold called all of them before I knew about Mojo Dialer and all these auto dialers. And through that, I gained I think the skill set of handling rejection very well, because I got cussed out like every day. And that was hard for me at the time because I was scared to talk on the phone. So I think that's a valuable skill to do as well. So here's what I would do, just to make it simple for you guys. Steps to get started. Number 1, get over the fear of rejection and handling objections over phone. That way you're not scared to do any kind of talking to the seller. Even if you're a introvert like I am, or I was, even I could do it. I was the kind of person in high school that would get red in the face, would lose their breath when they're talking. Like I would be like, and I just couldn't do it. And I got over that by just getting up and doing it, and even embarrassing myself. My face would get red. I would be very embarrassed. But at the end of the day, I asked myself, did you die? And I was like, well, I didn't die from it. I'm still here. I might got made fun of, but I thought about all the people who've messed up in speeches before that I've watched, and my friends and I, we made fun of them or whatever. But guess what? In the next hour, we completely forgot about that person. So it didn't really matter anyways. And I was like thinking to myself, well, even if I mess up, these people aren't going to remember me. So, or they're not going to remember, 10 years down the road. Who cares? And, it's kind of where you build the confidence. So get over the fear of rejection. And the easiest way to do that, and I'll put this in another video, a short and condensed version. This is kind of like the raw, unedited. But cold call every Craigslist ad, every for sale by owner on Zillow and Craigslist. And I want you to go ahead and call them and just offer half the amount of what they're asking. I don't care what kind of condition it's in, whatever. Offer half the amount. And I want you to just take a day to spend doing this, and maybe like 1-2 hours, and just every phone call, as soon as you hang up, dial the next number, and then call them and offer exactly half of what they're asking. Why am I telling you to do this? Not to get the deal, because chances are very slim. You might get a deal and you might get a home run. That would be awesome. But even if they accept the offer, just say, okay, I'll talk with my manager and get that paperwork done for you. You don't even have to do anything. The whole point of this exercise is to get over the fear of rejection and get over the fear of cold calling. So they're going to cuss you out, hang up, whatever. And it's going to be, it's going to be miserable for you probably. It's going to probably be like, you're so scared, you don't know what to do. Like they're going to hang up or cuss at you. Just get over that fear right then and there. That's why we're doing this exercise. So go ahead and cold call them, offer half of what they're asking, and just see how it goes, see how you react, see how it makes you feel. And then as you get to do it more and more, you start to like okay, they're gonna cuss me out, who cares, on to the next one. And that's what you want. You want to be confident, and you want to be able to handle that rejection and know that that's normal in our business. It's okay to get cussed out. That's what people, thick skin is what's going to win the game, not the person who has all the skills. If the person has all the skills, but they don't know how to handle rejection, they're not going to make it. It's the person who endures. So that's why I say step 1, do that. Step 2, you can continue cold calling and really try to make a deal out of it. Or you can do one of the other options that I mentioned. You can do direct deal machine. You get your investor care website. It's more slow. It gets you, $50 a month, kind of gets you up there, and it just puts your face out there, which is very important. So deal machine, investor care website. You can do direct mail, cold calling. Yeah, I would not. Most of the text blasting stuff is very expensive. So is ringless voicemail. So for getting started, I think you know, those options are the best. And in order to get started, I want you to try to save up like $50 to $200 a month for marketing. $50 minimum for the website. Then obviously anything additional you can save up or put towards every month is a plus. I wouldn't expect results overnight. I would make this like a 6 to 12 month goal, and even then I would make it like a 18 to 24 month goal, especially if you're only setting aside that much each month for marketing. Because remember, this is a business. You're kind of switching up from being the employee to running your own business, and that's where the hardest part came in for me. So I went from receiving money every month to, oh, now I'm spending money to make money. I was like, that sounds kind of scary. I don't know how to handle that. And so once I got over that hump, though, and you know, stopped being attached to money, then that's when the real results, you know, took place. So get out there and do it. Yeah, massive action is important, but make sure you're not just blindly going out and doing stuff. If you make mistakes, that's okay. Learn from them, right? Don't keep making them. Don't keep missing those phone calls and not calling back. Don't keep wasting dollars on marketing and not following up or doing anything with it. Learn from your mistakes. You're gonna make mistakes, and I know this is not what you want to hear, and all the gurus are teaching you otherwise. You're gonna mess up. You're gonna mess up big time in a lot of ways, and that's okay. I've messed up many times. Guess what I did on my first deal when I had a buyer? I showed my first buyer the properties. He asked me what the assignment was, and I told him. I went from a $35,000 assignment down to a $12,000 because of it on 3 separate properties. Altogether, I made $12,000 instead of $35,000 like we were supposed to. Never again. So you live and learn, guys, and it sucks when you make mistakes. It does, but that's what's going to make you the most money. So that in my, you know, unedited raw edition is what I think is the best way to get started, is to do one of those things. I'll have the link for the deal machines below. PropStream, you know, I have that as well. It's a lead source, so I used List Source when I first got started. It was because PropStream wasn't out. Now PropStream's out. It's a whole lot better. You can do a whole lot more on it. You can pull comps. You can do the MLS comps. You can run repair reports on it if you want. You can pull leads up to 10,000 per month, which is ginormous. And it's, I mean, for the value that they add for $100 a month, oh my gosh, it's totally worth it. And I have a 7-day free trial in my bio. So I didn't talk about a CRM, which is a customer resource manager, which is how you manage all your leads. When I first started, I had a notebook, and but you can get Podio. Podio is free. You can get the investor fuse integrated into it. It's $250 per month, and I think it's like a $750 setup fee. So obviously that's not a very good beginner one, but they have the options out there. But Podio is a really good tool because you can set up appointments, you can set up your leads that way, and it's all free. And it's a good way to learn the system anyways, or kind of how a resource manager works. So I would recommend using Podio or something similar to manage your leads, at least keep track of them. You can write your appointments down on a whiteboard or something, but you're gonna need something that just holds the information, so it's not in a notebook and you're not flipping through, and you know, maybe you take it out in the rain one time, your leads get ruined, or you rip a page out, or you know, you have to flip through pages every time you talk to somebody. So definitely recommend going through Podio, as it is free. So I hope this video helps. If it does, again, please help me out by subscribing, liking this video, and comment below if you need any help or advice on some subjects or any subject in general. So and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching.